What is confidence? What does that word even mean? And if you're watching this, go in the comments, post, what do you believe confidence to be? What does confidence mean for you? When are you most confident in your life? And right now, I want to dissect that. I want to dissect what confidence really even is. And to do that, I want to ask you the question. Think of somebody in your life who exudes this feeling and this emotion and this vibration of confidence. Think of that person right now in your life. Think of someone who exudes this energy. They walk into the room. Maybe they walk into the workplace. Maybe they walk into your home because they might live with you, right? Maybe you're at a party and they just walk in and heads turn and everyone's like, oh, wow, that's Chelsea. Chelsea just exudes confidence. Oh, wow, that's Joe. Joe always brings the party, right? What is it about this thing called confidence? And I want you to think about that person who brings confidence with them. My wife, Bree, just wrote, confidence is self-certainty. Absolutely. It is a huge sense of certainty, a sense that you can accomplish whatever it is you're going after. You can accomplish whatever's in the moment with you. And think about that person who brings the confidence with them. And I want you to really dial in on what exactly makes up that look of confidence. That person who walks into the party, who brings the party with them, what are they doing with their body? When they walk in the room, is their head down or their shoulders slumped? Right? Are they kind of trying to avoid everybody? Or are they going off in the corner hoping to not make conversations with anybody? No. They walk into the party and they're calm. They're cool. They're collected. They might be boisterous. They might be very outgoing. But confidence doesn't just mean enthusiasm. Confidence and enthusiasm, they can go together, but they are two separate emotions. You don't necessarily have to be completely outgoing in order to be confident because, like Bree just mentioned, confidence is a sense of certainty. It's a sense of understanding that you know what you're bringing to the table. It's a sense that you understand your abilities. It's a sense that you understand what you're capable of. You're comfortable in your skin. And I think it's important to recognize that confidence isn't something that you have or you don't have. Confidence is something that you use when you need it most. Think about confidence like this. Confidence is a muscle. When you go to the gym and you get on the bench press and you're doing the exercise, right? What are you working? You're working your chest, you're working your triceps, you're working other stabilizing muscles. And after you work out enough, you go to the gym 3 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, maybe more if you're a gym rat. What are you doing? You're building muscle. You're becoming stronger. When you look in the mirror a few weeks down the road, you're going to start to see some more definition, especially a month, 2 months, 3 months. You might not see differences at first, but you sure as hell will see differences over the course of time. Confidence is like you with the bench press. Confidence is like you riding the bike and falling off the bike, but then getting back onto it and succeeding. When you first got on a bicycle, what happened? Some of you pros out there who are listening might say, oh, well, I just took off right away, but I highly doubt it, right? You fell off the bike. And your parents or whoever helped you to learn to ride a bike, or maybe you didn't have anyone to teach you, so you just had to go through trial and error on your own. You got back on the bike and you fell off again. But this time you stayed on it for a little longer. This time you got your foot in the little, not the training wheels. I guess this is when you get on a bike without training wheels, but you got your foot on the pedals and you were able to stabilize it and go longer and longer and longer. And confidence is the same thing. And if you're someone who's listening or watching this right now and you're thinking, I just lack confidence and certainty in my life, then that might be the case right now. And you know what? That's okay, because we all start from zero. We all start with the foundation, and you have to build that foundation. You have to build that confidence muscle over time. And I'm going to share with you some ways that you can do that. I'm going to give you some practical things that you can start doing today in order to build that confidence muscle in your life. But you have to think of it as a muscle. And the first way for you to truly build that sense and that feeling and that certainty in your life when it comes to self-confidence is to build momentum in your life. An object in motion tends to what? Stay in motion. When you do something and you get in motion, you are in a groove. You are in a state of flow. And that state of flow will increase your levels of certainty in that moment. This isn't motivation. This is a universal law. This is an Isaac Newton universal law. An object in motion will tend to stay in motion. It's physics. And the thing is, you also operate from those same laws. The more you do something, and the more of a state of flow you begin to get into when you're doing something, the more confident you're going to be and the better at that specific thing you're going to get. We're not always confident at all moments of our day. There's going to be moments of the day where we're not feeling too great. And usually in those moments, it's when we lack momentum. Usually when we're not feeling confident in our life, it's when we're doing something that we're not 100% comfortable doing. Think about a time in your life where you haven't felt confident. It's going into a job interview. Why would you not feel 100% confident in a job interview? Well, unless you're a professional interviewer, then you don't have a lot of experience in job interviews. When I was working with leaders in the company I worked with, the first thing I always said to them was apply for every leadership opportunity that comes your way. Apply for everything. Even if you don't think you want to do it, apply for it so you can get your butt into that interview and gain experience and build that interviewing muscle. Because at the same time, you're building your confidence muscle. Momentum is the number one way to build this muscle. And the big way for you to build momentum, and this might hurt, is to keep your promises to yourself. Let me explain. What that means is when you say you're going to do something, especially when you tell yourself you're going to do something, stay true to your word. I read this book a long time ago. I think it's by Miguel Ruiz. Sorry if I butchered his name. The book is called The 4 Agreements. And one of the 4 agreements of life, it's a very spiritual book, is be impeccable with your word. Keep your word to other people, but more importantly, keep your word to yourself. Because if you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, right? Because all we have is the present moment. That present moment is going to arrive. When that moment arrives, when you say, oh, I think it's time for me to put my gym clothes on and go to the gym right now, and you choose not to, and you instead do something different, something that you deem to be productive and more important than going to the gym, it's not even a matter of what you said you were going to do. It's a matter of following through on what it is you said you were going to do. If you don't go, you're hurting yourself, not because you didn't get in the workout, but because you didn't keep your word to yourself. The number one way to build momentum and to build this muscle of confidence in your life is to keep your word to yourself. So the first rule here is don't tell yourself you're going to do something that you know you're not going to do. If you know you're not going to go to the gym, don't torture and torment yourself by saying you are. Instead, start small with this. Choose something that you know you're going to do. Hey, before work tomorrow, I'm going to plan out my day so that I go into my work day extremely confident in what I'm going to achieve. Hey, before I start my day tomorrow, I'm going to visualize exactly what I want my day to look like. That's a 5-minute commitment, a 10-minute commitment to start your day. And when you do it, after you do it, you're going to feel good because you had a ritual during your day, but you're also going to feel good because now you've built momentum for yourself. And the more momentum you have, the more you keep your word to yourself, the more levels of confidence that you're going to experience. And day by day by day, you're going to notice that your certainty will grow. The most confident people are the people who are sure of their abilities. They're the people who most of the time have done this thing before. But I'm also going to give you a strategy during this broadcast that will allow you to access this feeling of energy that you have in certain situations and use it in situations where you don't feel as confident. And that's going to come a bit later. Now, the second way for you to build extreme and absolute confidence in yourself and in your life is to have a vision for how you want your life to look. The first thing that happens when somebody tells me that they don't feel confident is I ask them, what are you working towards right now? What's the vision and the path and the plan that you have for your life right now? And usually they look at me and they say, Brandon, I don't really have a path. I don't really have a vision. I don't really know what I want. Or they say, well, I've got a lot of different things I'm working on. They're working on this business. They're working on their full-time job. They're working on this social media. They're working on being an officer in all these different clubs and organizations. And it's like, of course you don't have confidence because you're juggling all these different things. And when you drop the ball somewhere, you're dropping the ball in other areas, which causes you to feel bad, which causes you to lose that sense of confidence. I know I'm going deep here, but follow along with me. Okay. Having a vision, having a sense of direction, a sense that you're making, the key word here is progress. A sense that you're making progress towards this worthwhile realization or this vision that you have for yourself will build this sense of confidence in yourself, because the trick here, the key, is you have to give yourself some wins. And it's practically impossible to allow yourself to have wins when you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, how will you know if you won? If your goal isn't measurable, then how will you know once you've reached your goal? This is why some people say to me, Brandon, I want to be more confident. A goal is to have more confidence. And I always ask them, that's great. So tell me, how will you know once you're more confident? And they say, well, I don't really know. And that's because you already have it. You already are confident at something. There's something in your life where you do it, you feel very good. You feel very certain. You feel very sure of your abilities. So let me ask you right now, when is it that you feel most confident in your life? Is it while you're at work? Is it while you're with your family? Is it while you're at the gym? I know a lot of people who feel the most certain when they're at the gym because they know their body is fit. They know they're going to lift 5 pounds more this week because they got those gains. Right? And they feel absolutely certain in their ability to progress. And that's why when people leave the gym, they feel so good, not just because they got a new personal record for themselves, but because they followed through on their word. They were impeccable with their word. They kept their promise to themselves and they made progress. So the key here is, when are you most confident? Because this is a big part of the strategy that I'm going to give you in a few minutes. But if you don't have a plan right now for where you're headed, if you don't have a personal development plan, then this is going to be pretty tough for you. And I want to help you with this. And on my YouTube channel, which you can just search Brandon Eastman, I have probably 30 videos alone on how to create goals and how to create a plan for yourself. I actually have a video all about how to create a personal development plan. Go check it out. Because if you have a plan for how you want to improve, you can start to get wins with that plan. You can start to recognize your progress. And when you recognize your progress, you will find that your sense of confidence in yourself grows. It's a formula. Create a plan, make progress towards the plan. And as a result, your sense of certainty grows. And this is how you build absolute confidence over time. This is how you build momentum. And now I want to give you a strategy you can use to access this confidence in a situation where you might not have it. So I want you to think of a time when you were absolutely certain in what you were doing. Think to a time like that. For me personally, when I enter a room of people, especially for a live presentation, I've done it so many times that I know exactly what I need to do with my body and my focus in order to access this sense of confidence and certainty. And I become a different person, right? Because I'm performing at that moment. Right now, for you, I'm performing. Imagine if I wasn't confident in myself right now. How could I give you these tips? How could I talk to you about confidence if I wasn't confident? Notice what I'm doing with my body. Right now, I'm moving my arms. Right now, I'm being intense with my face because I have to in order for this message to go across to you. But what is it for you that inspires that sense of confidence? When you are doing this, you feel most confident. Fill in the blank. And all I want you to do is think to yourself, when you were in this situation where you felt good, when you were in this situation where you felt extremely confident, what did you do with your body to feel that way? How was your breathing? Where were your shoulders? Were you standing straight or were you slunking and going in the corner? Usually you're probably standing straight. You were probably breathing pretty fully. So what were you doing with your body in this moment where you felt extremely confident? And what were you saying to yourself during this time when you felt confident? What was your internal dialogue? For me, when I walk into a room, I'm thinking in my head like, yes, I got this. I'm going to perform. I'm going to change some lives today. I'm going to help some people to make positive transformations. And I know that it's game time. So I'm pumping myself up in my head with my internal dialogue. But what internal dialogue do you say to yourself when you're feeling absolutely confident in your life? What words are you saying? What phrases are you saying? What music are you playing in your mind? Maybe you have a song that makes you feel confident. What if instead of hearing that song externally, you played that song inside your mind when you needed to feel this confidence in a moment when you needed it most, in a moment where you normally don't have access to this confidence? So what were you doing with your body when you felt confident? And what was your internal dialogue? Because this is the trick. The next time you know you're going into a situation where you need to access your confidence, do that same exact thing with your body. Now you're going to consciously recognize that you need this dose of confidence. And now you're going to say to yourself, body, do what you do when you feel confident, and your body's going to change. And then you're going to say to yourself, what do I say to myself when I feel confident? And you're going to say whatever those words or those phrases are. You're going to say, I got this. I feel good. I feel ready. I'm going to tackle this and I'm going to come out on top. Or whatever your internal dialogue is. So what is confidence? It's a muscle. How do you build that muscle of confidence? You get that sense of certainty by building momentum and doing it and getting progress over a span of time towards a vision. You must have a vision, and you must recognize and celebrate your small wins, because the more you do that, the more confidence you get and the more certainty you have. Confidence is beautiful because with confidence, you can truly achieve and operate at your peak in whatever situation you're in. And with these tips, I know that it will make a big difference for you.